We'll know if this works as soon as the ad is over. Gosh. Skipo. Well, hi everyone. I see that 23 is here, and AJ and Auntie Patience. Hello. Let me know if you can hear and see everything. Can hear you. Hey, Lana. Hello. Hey, thank you. It's a bit more visible here. But yeah. Ooh-wee. Oops, it's smudging a little bit too much. I used a sheet of that's not doing the thing. I used a sheet of graphite transfer paper, and I'm not all that familiar with it. I find it a little bit dark, but I don't know how this multimedia paper likes kneaded eraser or not. Try to pick a little bit of it. And hear and see. I'm running on weird sleep slash not a lot of it. So sorry if it's all discombobulated a little bit. Ah! Hey, Liddy, hi. Does the kneaded eraser work on it? Hard to say, really. I feel like it's lightening the SketchUp a little bit, but I don't see a lot of it on the kneaded eraser. And usually when you use one of these, it's like you see. It's picking up a little bit. Hi, Lisbeth. Hello. Yeah, I think it's lightening up the sketch a little bit. It's a bit of an annoying sound, so I'm sorry for that. Why is the kneaded eraser so loud? I'm so sorry. I'll stop. Too bad. All right. So I have a ludicrously large set of acrylic marker next to me. I have the swatch sheets. I hope the audio is not that, like the weird audio that my microphone gets every once in a while. Like it gets weird. Trying to find willpower to get up for a new art supplies play, but I'm too full and lazy after dinner. Okay, so I'm trying to think about how I want to go about this. There's one thing I like to do with when it's more like acrylic paint instead of markers is to do a bit of an underpainting, like a base layer. I don't know if I want to do this here, and if yes, I don't know what color. I usually go for a sort of warm yellow, personally, or neon colors. But, of course, I'm a little bit more limited here. I will try, though. I have scraps of paper here. But I will try, what if I put the warm yellow and then go with a blue on top of it. So Y46. It's this one here. Very nice and juicy, and you have to let it dry before, you know, putting a layer of anything on top, unless you want to mix it. But I don't want to mix it. That's the whole point. I've never had much success using a netted eraser on carbon transfer. But the thing is that this is not carbon transfer paper. It is graphite. I knew it was a great idea to keep it here. So this one is graphite. So it is meant to be a bit more erasable than carbon. Carbon is not erasable, but graphite is supposed to be a bit better. But I haven't used it a lot, and I still, like, I transfer with a ballpoint pen. And perhaps I'm a bit too heavy-handed yet. The garden in that pic looks cool and green and shady, in the words of John Denver. Oh, hold on. That's Mr. Country Roads, right? I think I have one. Hold on. There it is. I have the best of John Denver live. Rocky Mountain High, Country Roads. There's a weird Venn diagram somewhere of, like, people who really like anime and people who know that country song, and they overlap because it was in a Ghibli movie. Yep, and Rocky Mountain High. Oh damn, yeah, graphite paper, graphite transfer paper should indeed. It's not. I don't think it's perfect, but it is much more erasable than carbon would be. Oh my god, this song is so famous here. Isn't also the song on Fallout? Yeah, and it's in a couple of movies. It's a hold on. Place. Country roads. There's merch in the back. This is the most 90s thing I've ever seen. What year is this? Oh, 97. Yep. That tracks. Hold on. So today, Country Roads, John Denver B. Danoff T. Nivert. That's his. Because you never know, sometimes some of these songs are like old folk songs. Especially the ones from, like, the Appalachia. But it seems like he wrote this one, maybe? Oh, here's something that a lot of us haven't seen in forever. A mail order coupon. Most kids these days would be like, what's that? But yeah. Here it's played at alcohol heavy party. Oh gosh. Released after he died then. Aw. I'm not very familiar with the guy himself, but this is a, you know, this is a good one. I really like old folk songs with a bit more of a traditional or a less produced cachet to them, but it's not that easy to find CDs of it. Hello, Amy. Welcome. Oh my gosh, I've seen some mail order thingies lately at the back of the Gerst. Really? Like recent ones? Even with fails to enter your payment info. What? Or is it like an older catalog? Life was so insecure back then. I was a huge fan of his as a 70s kid. Aw. I don't have a lot of, like I don't know him all that much, but it feels like you could have done a whole lot worse in terms of being a fan of someone. There's one I really like. It's a guitar player. It's John Fahey. It was the last one. Oh, wow. Dang. Let's find B210. Here. Hello, Curious. Hi, everyone. How are you guys today? This is dry. What? Oh. Hey, it doesn't get that green. Check this out. I mean, it's not dry yet, but I think with a couple of layers, we should be able to, like, do something here. Ellen, hey! Hello, hello, Ellen. Long time no see. How are you? I hope it's not too hot for you out there. And I remember when I still worked at that postal outlet, there were many Gen Z folks I had to teach how to write an address. Oh, I hope you have a good dinner, Lana. Okay, so I'm gonna try something. I said Y46. 46, so that's the yellow. I want a slightly lighter one, so the 2, I guess. Yep. And then I want kind of a yellow-orange. It's the Y09. I think it's up here. I will try to do a bit of an underpainting. I've never really done that before, but I'm curious to try it out. I feel like underpaintings are something that are really fun to do when your medium is more on the opaque side, like gouache, like these acrylic markers that are all, you know, fairly matte. So you still have that kind of a energy in there. So I will wonder if it's... I will try to just do a really quick underpainting. I'm not trying to stay within the lines of my sketch at all. I'm just trying to put some sort of a base color that will also seal in the graphite. So far, the graphite from the transfer paper hasn't picked up on the felt tip. Hold on, I don't remember if I shook it. Ev, unsurprisingly, my question is this, what do these markers smell like? If I like put my nose remarkably close to it to the point where I almost put marker on my nose, it doesn't really smell like much. Yeah. I'm not picking up any kind of smell, at least for this color. I don't know if it's the same for all the colors, but this one is pretty safe in terms of a smell or scent. I'm gonna cover a bit of this tree here with the yellow because I don't know if I'm gonna have some spots that we see through the tree. Okay, let's do this. this one goes here. My kingdom for a case where every spot is labeled with the pen that goes there. Oh my gosh. Humidity fell a lot yesterday, so work was more tolerable than it had been all week. The day since I had to cover for daycare. Oof! I'm treating myself to a rest day. Should I be doing stuff? Yes. Am I? Nope. Daycare is the most intense. Seriously, dude. Oh, man. Well, I mean, that one yellow was not stinky. These are the Kahuku acrylic markers. I put the link in the description technically, so if you feel like you want to check out the link, it should be in the description. But yeah. I feel like they have a smell that is like, if you put your nose to it really, like really close, but it smells a little bit like a very faint chemical, but also a little bit fruity. So I don't know what's up with that. And I have a bit of a warmer yellow here. For the middle ground elements. I'm making this light cover and patchy kind of on purpose. I don't want to saturate the paper too much. The ink in these pens is kind of liquid. I don't want the paper to be all like curvy, but I want that base color there. It's always an expensive week for me because I let myself eat out whenever I have to cover the daycare. Gonna have to be careful with my discretionary spending this week. Yeah, so far I haven't had too many acrylic markers that had a bad smell. Like this sort of new wave of acrylic markers. And yeah, Sharpie stink is usually more with Sharpies and more like with alcohol, because I think Sharpies are kind of alcohol based. And otherwise you have to go to the really nasty stuff like the old chart pack markers that have a smell that is closer to like lighter fluid or something. You have to be careful because I was doing the swatches earlier and I don't know if you'll be able to see, but I accidentally put my arm in a swatch and it is permanent. not that it's gonna go away in the wash, like, but it's acrylic paint, so even if I took a wet paper towel to it, it stayed on my arm. Now I'm gonna try to cover the foreground elements with a slightly darker color. So it's an orange, obviously. I'm not bothered with keeping the edges clean because I find it easier to work this way. And then I make like a little makeshift mat. I just use whatever cardstock I have, like just cheap, thin cardstock, and I cut out a square in it and I just attach my painting to it. And it's fine for photo purposes and storage purposes. Speaking of markers, do you have any advice on for using alcohol markers. What kind of advice are you, like, how to use them? How to what? There's a bit of a drying shift to these, as you can probably see. That's fine. All right, so this one goes back here. And I have to wait for this stuff to dry a little bit. The back, here the background color, the light yellow, is dry, so that's cool. I'll get started. I'll try to do the clouds first. And I wonder, yeah, I'm gonna grab two colors for them. I'm gonna grab white, of course. And then a very light blue. What's the GG30? What's this one here? Using alcohol markers. Avoid mistakes because it's so easy to make a mistake and so hard. What kind of mistakes? Like wrong color, too thick, like too dark, bleeding. I've not done much with alcohol markers simply because I'm not scanning my work and I have concerns for light fastness. Marker paper though, or Yupo, the synthetic stuff, are best for blending. Bleeding and going out of the line work. Are you using a marker paper for this? What kind of paper are you using? It's possible you're using a paper that is too absorbent. So it takes in too much ink, and then the ink continues spreading out when you're done. I feel like most marker papers are like more on the non-absorbent side of things rather than the absorbent side of things. I'm gonna grab that B210 blue color again. It's a really interesting change of pace to work with a opaque medium every once in a while. And this is like super convenient because it's all, you know, separate pens, so you don't have to, I don't have to make a mess really to have fun with this if you compare it to like acrylic gouache, where you have to, you know, get your water, get your mixing areas, the brushes, all the tubes out, all that stuff. This is a whole lot more like convenient, really. Oh my gosh, this is the never-ending ad. Go away. Okay. So it's got to be the paper. Yep, it's very possible. Oh, thank you, Ellen. Paper can make a huge difference. One of the best things I learned from Mind of Watercolor is that paper makes a big difference in workability and result. There's a lot of papers now too that are available where the paper is a special is a special formula where the ink doesn't bleed through, and that's also a lot of fun to work with. There's a bit of a learning curve with it, but it's really interesting to use because of that aspect that you don't get any kind of a like you can use both sides of the paper if it's in a sketchbook. I know Crescent makes them, but I also have a sketchbook from Ohuhu, I think. Be nice, though that paper has a bit of a peculiar smell to it. It's not stinky per se, but it doesn't smell like regular paper does, in my opinion anyway. All right, so what color do I want to go for this? I need to start with the foreground color, so it's gonna be this one. Okay, so if I start from this, or maybe I should grab this other one. Yeah, okay, the lighter one. Then, okay, I have sort of a plan. This one and wait, what number is it? 211. Ah, here it is. Shake, shake, shake. Keep reminding myself that I don't need new medium, but I still want to try acrylic markers. I mean, make a list. You can make a list, and then when you sort of progress through your list, eventually you're gonna get to the point where you are gonna try something new next, like acrylic markers or whatever else strikes your fancy, really. Une minute. Une minute. I have a kitty cat invader. Salut Miss. On peut faire pour toi. Oh, si tu penses que tu te sauves. I have a kitty. Bloop. Bloop bloop. No forbidden water this time. No forbidden water. Why are you showing me your bumhole? Oh, why? Big birds. Big birds. Finally got up to play Bunk. Come on, fille. Qu'est-ce que tu fais? Hello Maggie, hello. Quoi? Oh my god! Well, the need to stash bus is real. Thankfully, if I know I'm not going to end up using something, I have very receptive art teachers at the school who are usually quite happy to take my donations. Aww. I understand the struggle. I have to remind myself. 23, you dislike most everything except watercolor and gouache. Chill. Yeah, I agree. I'm with you in that kind of aspect. Sometimes I see a new shiny and I'm like, ooh, shiny. And then I remember that like, oh, but you don't even like acrylic paint. And I'm like, oh, fair point. I don't even like acrylic paint. Hey, baby. Can you even see her? Okay, hold on. Mine baby cat. Show your little face. It is a baby cat. Ah, light. Hello. Oh, whoa, whoa, big bit. Hello, baby. Hello, baby. Can't even see your face. Oop, oop. She's purring really loudly. Wish I could make it easier for you to hear, but no se pique. You're settling down? Okay. Aïe, 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 aïe. Gros bébé, viens avec moi. Oh, peut la douche, si tu veux pas. Allez, hop. I was thinking of going to our analog of dollar store here and get like very basic set of acrylic markers just to see if I like them. It is worth a try, though you might also end up with a too cheap of a tool. But sometimes it's surprisingly good. That's the issue. Like it's really hard to oh, she's shedding so much. Wow. It's really hard to know in advance the quality of the supplies you'll get at the dollar store. Bibi. Mm. She's so happy. Hey, Mimi. Gimit. She's so warm. I'll put this back on the screen so there's at least something to look at, but it's on me. I bought a Dollarama set a couple of weeks back because I needed to label something, and was rather surprised that they don't suck. Yep, that's kind of a good description of the Dollarama experience, to be honest. Sometimes they have stuff that is surprisingly good, and you're like, what? Other times, I like that they have teeny tiny bottles of Mud Podge, though. I think that's pretty handy. Qu'est-ce que je fais avec toi, moi? Une place où je peux la laisser, tu penses?
Established?
Ouf.
No.
Non. Well, I'm stuck. He doesn't want to go anywhere. That's the problem. Hmm? Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Ah. Je perds tellement de poils. Do you want to go behind me? Yeesh. Okay, the bar. Right. Sorry. Oh, okay. I was able to relocate her to behind me. So, my butt is gonna pay the price of this one, but she likes it. She likes to be behind us on chairs. Because that's where the worm is. Good. Yeah, but I mean, she has a coat of fur. There's no way she's cold. It's a bajillion degrees. Water break. Okay. Oh my gosh, I have so much fur in my nose. tried to put some color on the little home. I don't know what color yet, but Otto! Hello. Remember, it insulates them against heat too. Besides, what fun would it be if she wasn't imposing somehow? Heck, I wish Oreo wasn't so polite sometimes. Yeah, well, he's not a tortoise shell, so of course he's well behaved. He's not a little demon cat. And yes, acrylic markers. To shake. How are you doing, Otto? How is everyone, actually? I don't think I've asked. My little tuxie gentleman. Oh, well, I mean, they're kind of like neon tints, basically. It's like a neon color, but with some white in it to make it a bit more opaque, so I don't know if it would be auto-approved. I'm very groggy, just woke up from a nap. Oh, for sure, no problem. And by little, I mean 13.5 pounds and 34 inches. No stay. Aww. Previously I've had, like, the cats I had as a kid, one was a male cat and the other one was a really chunky female. So I'm not used to petite cats. Not that Scout and Peko are like very petite, but they're noticeably smaller female cats. They're not meant to be like a big sturdy fella like a male cat could be. So they weigh about 10 pounds and sometimes like the curtains. You mean the color of oh my gosh, Otto. Oh no. Was your gray cat the chunky one? Yes. Well, I mean, he was a male cat and a little bit chunky, but then at some point we got a second cat in that household, and she was a little female cat, and I think she was supposed to be like a petite cat. Like females are usually a little bit smaller, but she had like sort of stress issues, and she would stress eat, poor baby. And since we would have there was always food out available for the cats, I was you know, kid slash teenager. I didn't really know what I was doing. So the parents were mostly responsible for the decisions made about the cats. And yeah, so they were a bit on the chunk side. More obviously the female one, because she was meant to be a bit smaller. But yeah. Since they could always eat, yeah, they tend to be a little bit more chunky when that happens. The cats I have now, Scout and Pecco, we don't leave food out for them at all times, because they would be uncomfortably chunkies. The gray female I had when I was a kid was about 8 or 9 and somewhat bowling ball shaped. What? Oh, just like Pecco. Pecco is she's shaped like American football. What hand egg. But yeah, sometimes when we we call Pecco a pigskin sometime. But she's shaped like a lemon, you know? Do the markers, they have a felt brush tip. I don't know if that answers your question. It's not a real brush with bristle tip, but it's a pointed felt tip. Like this. I don't know if you can see. Oreo has free feed kibble because he seems to be the rare cat who only eats when he's hungry. He gets a portion of wet food in the morning and a beef tube treat at night. Aww. Linus, my friend's cat, also is really good at self-regulating food, but they're more of an exception than the rule when it comes to cats. I haven't seen many cats be this good with portioning their food out. I meant to say hand egg. It was a comedian skit. Did it involve cake? Because I swear I didn't eat the whole thing. But the vet says it's great. Yeah, I mean, male cats can be much beefier. Oh, why? Oh, why, mademoiselle? Linus is a really good boy. Hey, Louis, hello! Remember the cute... Oh, yeah, I remember! My cat wants me to watch him. He's so weird. Aww. Well, sometimes there's like an underlying reason when cats do that kind of stuff. Sometimes it's like being capricious, but sometimes they have a reason in their cat psyche for doing that. I don't know how... Bon. Bonjour, ça va bien, toi? So, like, I'm not putting any pressure on it, so that's sort of just the tip. And then if you put pressure on it, it gets a bit bigger, so it is kind of soft, but not like a real brush, you know. I wouldn't want to bend it too hard because I feel like it wouldn't come back to its shape. They're nice and juicy though. I really enjoy using them so far. Mine does too. I think he thinks I'm keeping watch while he's vulnerable. He's formerly feral, so he's got quirks. Well, at least he's got an excuse for them. I know cats that have quirks and no excuses for them. And I have one sitting right behind me. Oh no, elle est toute molle. Elle a fondu. She's melted. She's all melty. Molle, mon bébé chat. She does this really funny thing, in my opinion anyway, where she will like settle down, like that's her face here, so kind of lays flat, and then she has her front paws that are like coming over and then curling back, but it makes kind of wings. So from the top, if you look at her from the top, you have like the little pointy face, the little ears, and then like she goes like this, but then you have these little wings that are the paws. And it really cracks me up. Les ailerons. Pour aller plus vite. That's basically what I have behind me right now. It's like a milky cat. I wonder if these markers would be good for painting clouds. I mean, if you like painting clouds, they would be good for whatever you want to use them for, really. So that's 119 that I use for this. A splat cat, yep, pretty much. Very polluted. A bit hurty, but I'm good. What did you do? Ça va comme ci, comme ça. I haven't heard that expression in so long. And it is a commonly used expression, just less so here in Quebec, since we have a bit more of a slang-ish kind of version of French. My cat is making sounds. Oh, I'm oh shit, not good. But really don't know. Wait, what do you mean? T'entends pas tous les sons qu'elle fait, hein? He's being super noisy behind me. I meant to do that, of course. Oh, voilà. Now, there's one thing that I really like of opaque mediums like this one is I feel like they are so good for foliage. Because of the opacity, because of the shape. I feel like it's really easy to, you know, build up those layers of foliage. I've painted the pomegranates first. Oops. Sorry. The perks of being insurances. Oh, man. Yeah, the perks, quote unquote, of being in the US, I guess. What is everyone's favorite medium for painting or drawing clouds? Not pictures with clouds in them. Basically, the whole painting is clouds, right? I tend to have a very cartoony approach when doing clouds, so I'm not sure my input is particularly relevant here. Thing is, though, is like what kind of clouds are we talking about? Like the really long, stretchy ones that are a bit see-through, or the big fluffy ones? Sorry if I'm... No, don't worry about that. That's fine. No problem. all of the kinds beautiful and scientific. Because I feel like if you are doing the big fluffy ones, a more opaque medium would be fun, but then if you are doing the more translucent ones, perhaps a like watercolor, like a more transparent medium then would be more interesting. So maybe one that does all of it. Starting to sound like watercolor and gouache. I mean, it could be acrylic gouache, mind you, or acrylic. I would say that perhaps personally the most applicable advice I would give is to go with the medium you're the most comfortable with. But that's sometimes not that easy either. That's the problem. I love all mediums. I mean, sometimes it's easier to start with the ones you don't like. I like oil, but it's too messy. Yeah, it really depends on what you want out of your supplies, really. It's not like they all do the same thing, you know. Acrylic felt very frustrating to me as it dries so fast. Yeah, I agree. It dries really fast, and it if you're not done, you kind of lose all your paint because you can't re-wet it. Like, I've run out of a mixed color in watercolor. I do that regularly, actually, and yeah, sure, it sucks, but I'm like, oh, that's my bad for not preparing enough of it. But then when it happens with acrylic, I just get frustrated. These have a bit of a drying shift, I'm noticing, so sometimes it's perhaps a bit difficult to gauge what's the final color gonna be like. I can't even see where I put my... I used to almost be exclusive to acrylic. Mostly I like that if my ADHD brain hated it, I could just paint over it and start again. What about the Stay Wet palette? They have a little wet cloth. I don't know. It's not... Yeah, it works in a pinch, you know, but every time I've used a Stay Wet palette, I've kind of hated it. I feel like the paint became weird and would smell weird, and then if you are like too distracted and you can't go back to the painting, or too busy, and you can't go back to the painting soon, well, then you end up with a moldy Stay Wet palette, which is... ugh. All user error elements, I'm fully aware, but... Oh, my cat is gone. My butt. Oh my gosh, I'm too old for that. I haven't done anything on a cat yet because I don't know what color I want to paint a cat. Same Ev saying too old. I'm not sure we have any youngins in the chat. Once I'm truly locked in, I can't lock out hyperfocus. Don't. We're all still super young. We can do anything. It might just take us a little bit more time, and we might make more weird noises doing it. But we gotta accept our forever changing situation too. There's a color that's labeled 420. Too old for basketball. I mean, duh. Well, then too short for it anyway, so. I don't know if you guys follow basketball. I don't, really. But I'm aware of a few things related to the NBA. And one of them is that there is a player in there that's ridiculously tall. And he's a French dude, so they call him the French baguette, which really cracks me up. But, like, I was watching him on the court, and I was watching, like, the other players that are all, you know, tall guys. And that dude is so freaking tall that he makes everyone else look like regular to small. And I looked at the play, and I mean, these are professional players, so, you know. But I was looking at the at that player, that tall player playing, and it reminded me of when we had to do basketball in phys ed. And like I was like, oh, every single one of those players know how I felt playing basketball in high school. And being like dog water at it. I was terrible at it. These are professional players, so not that, but the discrepancy in size and like seeing them trying to block someone that is like ridiculously tall. And I saw that and I was like, oh, that's how it felt. They know now. French baguette is hilarious. Go Knicks. Is match 5 tonight? Did you hear that Michael Jordan's son drove into a train track, got his car stuck, and when the cops showed up, he was telling them to get his... What? Was he under any kind of influence? Substance? Something? Entitled Nepo Babies Be Sus. Bet that went well. some Nepo babies that I'm definitely fine with. There are others that, you know. I don't care about basketball, just NYC. Are you... well, you might not want to say, but do you have a personal attachment to that city? He kept mentioning that he was Michael Jordan's son and was convinced that 6 cups could lift a cup. Oh, and he was inebriated. Okay. I mean, that kind of puts everything in a perspective that makes a bit more sense. He's still an asshole, but he was an asshole without inhibitions, so... That... Are you supposed to say that? Without inhibitions? With inhibitions? Without... Brain. Do you know who my father is? Of Nepo babies. Lift. I thought it was about pushing the car, but lifting it is like next level. I prefer NYC to my home state. Oh, wow. I don't have any personal experience of NYC, but from what I hear of it and from what I hear of Florida, you kind of have two that are at the opposite spectrum of at the opposite ends of a specific spectrum, let's just say. Oh my gosh, Florida. Ugh. But if he was under the influence of something, could explain this stupidness. Well, I mean, I think he's always like it's always there, but the presence of the alcohol removes his ability to be self-aware, you know. C'est ta fille qui fout la merde. C'est toi qui fous la merde. Ah, c'est la fille qui fout la merde. Elle fout la merde. Poupou. The cat came back, guys. Yeah, no, thank you. I don't think it does. Everyone can stop drinking. We're getting to that stage. Or it's a whole other issue. I don't know. I feel like it could just be from the experience that I have with people drinking, but I don't feel like when people drink, they become a different person. I feel like it just accentuates to some degree what's already there. Like when celebs tweet something racist under the influence and then blame the Yeah, that's not the thing. I say this with all the love in the world for the lovely times I've had in Florida. All the nuts rolled downhill to Florida. I proved the time I was hugged randomly by a Cuban lady of the night. She liked my lighter, and I gave her a light for her smoke. Oh, wow. It's gonna be an interesting endeavor to put all of these back in their respective spot after. I have quite a few of them out at the moment, so... Oh, I forgot. Shake them. Oh, go away, you stupid ad. Don't... Speaking of nuts, I have a tiny oak tree growing in one of the planters on the balcony. A bird must have dropped it, and it grew this year. Oh, that's lovely! And now about 20 siema. I'll need to remove it because the balcony is not the place for an oak tree, but I like it. Is there any place you could, like, replant it? And if it's an oak tree, chances are it's a squirrel that, you know, put it there for the winter and then forgot about it. Ladies of the night need hugs too, but shouldn't hug others without consent. Yeah. It's not a big thing to just go, hey, can I hug you, you know? And then if the person says, I'm good, well, you go, well, okay. Have a good night. Replanting it might be illegal, but I thought about it. The meadow I walked with Dente at. You need to find a place where they don't mow the lawn very often, if at all. I have blueberry bushes growing under my oak tree. It was probably seeded by birds pooping. Fair, fair. Though, I mean, blueberry bushes are a win. There's one in a... How can I describe its location? So there's like a somewhat public building not too far from here, and they have planters. And I don't know how, but now there's a substantial blueberry bush growing in one of the planters. And it just makes me happy to see. Might be a squirrel, but I don't think they go on the balcony. You'd be surprised, but it's very squirrely behavior. She was having a rough night. It was raining. Aw. Oh no. Is it actually written like censored, or is it written a bad word? I feel like that kind of message would possibly attract a peculiar kind of people down in Florida. Maybe, maybe not. Random blueberry bushes are a gift, seriously. I wish I could, like, have some, just, growing. Though I will say, the one plant that I remember seeing that perhaps is on the top of the list of plants I would try to get growing if I could is a... So I think it's maybe chokeberry. I don't remember, but it's not a bush, it's a tree that makes these little red berries with a huge pit in the middle, proportionally. And we moved to a place once that had an old tree like that in the yard, and it would be full of crows. And it just made me so happy. They were happy too. They would go in the tree, eat all the berries, and we would find all the pits, on the ground next to the tree. But I've never really seen a tree like that ever since. Choke cherries, maybe. I don't know. It's a small berry, but the pit is really substantially large. Like, you know how the ratio of a cherry and the pit is kind of consistent, but with those, it was like too little flesh for the size of the pit, if that makes sense. You can plant an oak tree in a little pot too. Up to a certain point, I think you can. But I'm pretty sure at some point you have to, you know, find a place to plant it so it can grow to its full size, no? I still have it, still works, hence the hug from a Cuban lady. She wasn't a fan of the government. I mean, it's not like the... Anyway. No politics. I have random blueberries all over my yard. I'm currently up to my neck in blueberries. Just finished peach season and waiting for figs next. Oh no, not fresh fruits. Oh no. What a terrible situation to be in. Especially with the current economy. Those are expensive. Mom and I are trying to rehab the raspberry patch. Ooh, it's taking over the fenced-off veggie patch and not producing much. So we found a technique reusing cardboard to keep growth under control. I hope you can get it to produce more fruit, though. That would be the best. Yeah, but then you can relocate it and grow another oak tree. But you'd have an oak tree. Yeah, absolutely. You can have a small oak tree for a bit, of course. You need a big pot, but it's doable. I want a pomegranate tree so badly. It's my favorite fruit. They're delicious, but the seeds are annoying. Meow. Either a cat is yelling at us or a kid outside is being noisy. Probably a kid. It was a common tree here. Oh, really? Ooh. Raspberries are my favorite. However, Ontario strawberry season is almost here, and I plan on feasting. Dude, Ontario has a peach season, which is... Oh man, the best peaches. We get them over here, like they're good for about a week or two, and then it gets a bit hit or miss, but oh my gosh, for the time that the peaches are in season. Woohoo! Sadly, there is no fresh one over here in Germany. I only had it on travels, but it's so good. I mean, we see them at the grocery store, but it's too much of a hassle to eat. I know some people just eat the seeds, but I don't think they taste good. Is peach season? It depends on where you're at. Canada is a bit colder in general, so our peach season is a bit later in the summer. But in places like Florida, it's probably a bit earlier in the summer. Y'all making me hungry. Sorry. I'm not sorry. Pomegranate is supposed to be good for the heart health. I would put forth the idea that, you know, good luck finding a fruit or a veggie that is really bad for anything. Things have been delayed. Had a very cold spring, lots of frost, so I don't know how the fruit blossoms fared. Oh no. Oh, I hope we get the lovely peaches from the Okanagan. So some of you have already shared what's their favorite fruits, but what's everyone's favorite fruit? It's a tough one, isn't it? I don't know. Okay, so I'm looking for color, but is it already out? I can put the white one back. Not sure we'll use that again. That's GG. That's GG, okay. Grapes maybe. Not really bad, but I mean, not particularly, really. What's bad about grapes? First off, the donut peaches came out, but they were really sour. I find you brave to take that kind of risks. Heck, I even still have some late forget-me-nots still hanging on. And I already have peonies out. Whoa. I wish I had forget-me-nots. Why is it so hard to find seeds for forget-me-nots? I like all the fruits, they're so good. I need to think, is there a fruit that well, I mean, if you want to get technical about it, I can't do tomatoes. Technically a fruit. I feel like the perhaps the main thing is to get the fruits when they're in season. I feel like everything that you can find in season is gonna be really delicious. And then when you find it out of season, that's when it's absolutely the worst experience ever. Even apples or, you know, really basic stuff. But oh, if it's out of season, it's so bad. Grapes have less vitamin than other berries and a higher sugar content. But there's something in the seeds, right? They have like everything has antioxidants if you get the red grapes or something. I don't know. Still beats having like the bar of chocolate. And you can freeze grapes, and they're really fun to eat in the summer. I can try to mail you some. Oh, really? Do you get them? How do you get the seeds, though? They're a biannual perennial, so they only bloom every second year. Really? I thought they would come back every year. Dude. They're one of my favorite flowers. We were talking about this the other day, and I realized that almost all of my favorite flowers are uh, either wildflowers or considered weeds. Which I'm like, oh, come on now. I have a treillis made of grapevines. It rains grapes on the porch every summer. Oh, but that gets super sticky. And then you get wasps in there. Ugh. I really like vines, but I don't like all the bugs that also like vines, like spiders and wasps. What are your favorite flowers? I really like forget-me-nots. I like. Hold on, I don't know what's the name of them. It's not goldenrod. It's those little bright yellow flowers that are like shiny on the inside of the petals. We call them bouton d'or in French, but I don't remember what's it called in English. So there's those. I really like bindweed. I like wild roses, like the bushes, the roses that are a bit more um, uh, less precious, let's say. The ones you don't have to put under a styrofoam shelter so they survive the winter. You let them die back, dry out, and then we just throw down the leftover dried out plants anywhere. Oh, really? Cool. Huh. I remember when I was a kid, the place where the house we had when I was a kid, the way it was set up is that like the house was there, and then if I walked a little bit around, there was a little plot of land that was not developed yet. And the way it was made, like the land was kind of not public land per se, but didn't really belong to anything at that point or anyone. And under the trees that were on the border of the row of houses there and the plot of land that had nothing, there would be forget-me-nots that would grow there. And I remember my mom would send me on missions with a plastic bag, a spoon, and she would be like, okay, take these and go get some of the forget-me-nots that grow there. So I would go and I would try to dig out the forget-me-nots and bring them back, and my mom would transplant them somewhere. And I had to do that a couple of times. And it was a bit silly, but I really like them. And sometimes, if you're lucky, you get the ones that are white or lightly pink. And those feel extra special. Oh, I also really like asters. They're more of a like September flower, but they're those teeny tiny light purple flowers. Every tea rose we ever had has died back to the rootstock, and inevitably the smaller, less showy flowers smell so much better. They do. It's like a wild rose bush smells amazing. You have a bajillion of them along the East Coast a lot. Like we would spend the summers in Maine when I was a kid, and it's just so noticeable when you walk next to a big uh, spread of that kind of rose bush, and it just smells so good. It doesn't smell like perfumey or grandma-y as you would think, but yeah, and they're really they turn into really fun fruit in the fall too. Not that it's edible or anything, it just looks cool. But yeah, so the yellow flower, the forget-me-nots, the bindweed. There's a couple of other ones that I don't know the name of, but whenever I see them, they make me happy. The fake chamomile, the one that's not actually chamomile but smells like chamomile, and it grows into like sandy ground, and it doesn't grow very tall, but it smells really good. I like poppies and cornflowers. Oh, cornflowers are such a pretty color. You would think they'd be yellow, like with the name like that, but nope. Do you get like wild poppies? We don't really get them here. I think. We're nurturing and climbing roads along too again. Old rootstock that took over from the craft. Ooh, do you have photos of that? I need to work on my drawing. I mean, at least now I know that the paint is dry. I still don't know what color to make the cat. Oh, I'm gonna make a tuxedo cat. There you go. There you go. I want to go for full white because that's gonna be a bit too hardcore. But go for off-white and black. This one. Which one is this? They grow a lot here around grain fields and on meadows. Oh, wow, really? No, I don't want to have a black cat hair. I mean, it would fit, but... Tuxedo cats have the pink nose, right? Because of the way the white patch is on their face. Oh, he has a black nose. Yeah, of course he can. So what? He has the like the upside down V. But the nose, like the wet part of the nose is black. Yeah, I can definitely do that. Like black will go over that color I put there for sure. I wonder if the white... Well, we're gonna find out. I mean, I did put some of the white here in the clouds over the yellow, and I can try it on a piece of paper, but I think, yeah. I feel like if I put pure white, it's perhaps going to be a bit too hardcore, but I can definitely have some white accents. I feel like I should look a... I'm gonna look at Ellen's Instagram to have a reference. Oh. Oh, so it doesn't have the V, it just has the the Oh, what a handsome fella. Oh man, that's cool. Yep, doing that. He's so handsome. Definitely a Batman face mask. Since I can sort of cover it up, I'll go a bit further with the white than I would, and then I can sort of cover it back up. It's easier to do than the other way around. I would show him if I could, but I can't easily do that. White belly. So handsome. She says about every single cat she sees. As if I would do that. It's gonna be a bit difficult to get the right color for the eyes. That's one thing that I really appreciate about watercolor. It's how easy it is to mix your colors and get truly what you want. Assuming that, you know, your base colors let you, but yeah. Where's pause like? Pause. Aw. Man, cats are the best. This one is almost completely white, huh? My dad calls the white that crosses over his left paw his sergeant stripes and teases him that Oreo outright. Aww. Gonna have to do multiple layers, but it should get. I have so many pens out that I don't know what's out and what's not. Hey, Sassy! Hello! Alright, so. So handsome. I know this is brown, but I think I'm gonna do an underlayer in brown and then go with the black over it after. Maybe I should have done white first and then the off-white color, so that it's a bit more opaque, but you know, live and learn. The funniest thing, I found an illustrated book called Shakespeare Cats in the festival's gift shop. Turns out Oreo is the dead ringer for the Richard III cat. Hope everyone is keeping cool today, to some degree. I think this is the first time I've seen you use not watercolor. My idea is sort of to always like play with mediums that I feel could be paired up with watercolor, but varying degrees of being successful at it. And I'm not very good with these, but you know, it's about having fun, and sometimes it just serves as a good reminder of why I like watercolor so much, you know. I am not, Lana, stop it. I brought the book up to the counter, asked why my cat was cast as one of the best-known Shakespearean villains. I was told that I should buy the book. I retorted that the publisher owes him royalties. Spoiler alert, I absolutely bought the book. Aww. Hey, good night, Louis. Or rather, good day. But I've seen... I haven't. I think I'm, you know, watercolor, I'm a bit more conscious of what I'm doing with it, but most everything else, I just... You know, you figure it out. Thankfully, since I am a local, the staff knows me and laughs like... Yeah, otherwise, can you imagine what kind of weird Karen moment that would be? To have someone be serious, like come in and be like, my cat is in this, I want this for free. Like, I'm sorry, what? Are you okay? Oh man. People, am I right? I think I'm gonna make the shirt a dark blue. Playing is where the art is at. I've never been really good with a really structured classes for learning stuff. So just grabbing a thing and messing around with it is perhaps not the most quick way to understand how it works, but I feel like whatever lessons you get from learning that way, they tend to stick with you a bit more because they're attached to like a personal experience of the thing rather than someone telling you about the thing. Thank you, almost night. 7. Same, all of you. Have a great day. Hopefully I get out of the not missing up part. I hope so too. And messing up is part of learning. You have to mess up, so... Retail hell, here we go. Oh my gosh. Good luck. I hope you get a, decent day, not too full of awful people. I'm gonna say something really stupid, so caveat, but you know how some places in the world have mandatory military service? I think, I don't really agree with that, but I think mandatory retail work or working with the public should maybe be a thing. I feel like that would possibly have a greater impact. My goal in life is pretty much don't be a Karen. I worked retail too long to ever forget those lessons. Yep. Oh, absolutely. Many people agree. And most of them are people who have worked with the public, who have worked retail. Mandatory service industry experience. Yes. Yes. Yes, yes. Absolutely. Ugh, 8 minutes. Yeah, I mean, yep. Bye, Louis. Good luck. I joke with my fellow custodians who are unionized with benefits and pension. Simply not tough enough for retail. They have no idea. Seriously. I think retail is the work that you have to deal with people, like customers, the most, and oof, it is rough. And then I would put second in line. I would put being a gig worker, like sort of being freelance and having to deal with clients in a different kind of relationship. Yeah, but the energy is absolutely the same. They're both miserable. And I stand by that even going into summer deep cleaning, which really means moving a lot of furniture, the scrubbing and waxing part is easy. I mean, it's not likely to yell at you, is it? It's stuff. Can't say the same for people. There is also the aspect of having worked in retail that comes from having to deal with the management structure. When you work retail, you need permission just to go to the bathroom and are often not even allowed to have a drink of water with you. Yeah, that's ridiculous, seriously. laughs in ex-waitress bus person. There's a few things that I can understand if you work with the public. Like if you are at work, perhaps the person working shouldn't be on their phone. That's something that I can kind of see, like, yeah, that makes sense. But not allowing them to have a drink of water, that's just nonsense. That's absurd. How did we get there? The bathroom thing, like having to ask permission to do it, the vibes are off. But at the same time, I know that there is cases of people spending perhaps too much time in the bathroom because they don't want to work. So it's a bit more difficult to highlight that it's silly, you know. But the drink of water, like, okay, fine, you can't have like a 2 liters of soda, fine, okay, but a bottle of water. Like, people need breaks. Give them breaks. I was lucky because I mostly work for independent stores, or so concessions for being a human were there mostly, but it was still absolutely a grind. Yeah. I think it's insane that cashiers in the US have to stand and can't sit. That's also I don't get it. Like if I get to the counter at the grocery store and the cashier is sitting. Okay, so what? Yeah, they're sitting they're sitting right next to the register. They can still like do what's the issue? I don't get it. Now the book vault, I do miss that place. I had carte blanche to say pretty much anything to anyone because my boss was, well, a jerk and thought it was funny. Okay, well, I mean, I was at Hobby Lobby recently. I know. And the girl was saying how thirsty she was, and they're not allowed water at the registers, so she was waiting for lunch. I was like, yeah, it is abuse, absolutely. Can I speak to the manager? Nope, you don't want to do that. And why? Because I am the nice one. I'll leave. Yeah, that I mean, okay, it's Hobby Lobby on top of everything else. It's not like I had expectations, to be honest, but still, like, it's still not right. I have a bit of work to do on this, but my brain is getting to that slightly fried spot from rambling so much for so long. So might have to set this aside for a bit and then come back to it a little bit later. Cashiers here can drink and sit all day at the register, but breaks can be tough. Depends on the management. Technically, they have to give them a bathroom. Yeah, it's just... I have lots of words, but I'm not gonna say them because that wouldn't be very nice. It's so fucked up. It is. It is definitely many steps beyond where someone should have, done something about it. But it's not gonna happen because of, you know, starts with the C. I won't need one myself because of my, yeah. Only take me once to break. Drinking is a basic right, and yeah, sure, okay, you might not want people to have their huge 2-liter bottle with them, but you can just, you know, mention that instead and say, oh, sure, you can drink on the job, but make sure it's, you know, like a reasonable size thing, and that you're drinking water, you know, like it's just, it's water, it's not, it's stupid. Oh, that's awesome, Ellen. God damn. Dental is kind of awesome. Yeah, seriously. And the thing is they have to stand. They don't even walk around. Like, it's not ideal to be on your on your feet the whole day, fine. But if you're walking around, at least it's a bit more like you're not just standing there. Just standing there for, you know, and not being able to walk around or to sit. Hey, well, hello. Hold on. Warda Shiraz. Hello. When I went from cashier to front end supervisor at Lowe's, I made sure all cashiers knew we're allowed water bottles for water only. If your bottle isn't see through, it must be water. Yeah, standing relatively still is just terrible. So I couldn't have my tumbler with the vinyl sticker that proclaims I will do as I please. Yeah, it's amazing how quickly forget that cashiers are eroding with. It's so easy just to go like, okay, you're allowed a water bottle. Like, it can be, get one of those like plastic bottle that's see-through and refill it. I mean, yeah, it's a bit annoying, whatever, but at least it's still like you can still drink it. And if it's empty, you can refill it. Fine. It should be on a, you know, case by case basis. It shouldn't be a rule that's applied to every single person working at a specific kind of job. Like, you let them, you treat them like human being, and when you have a particular case of someone perhaps going a bit too far with it, that's when you know, sit them down and be like, okay, like, can you please not take 45 minutes at the bathroom every single time you have to go, please? It's not the color I'm looking for. This is it. So that people would stop getting busted for having clear water bottles with colored stuff in it. Like, we'd even get yelled at for powder mixes when those hydration sticks became a thing. Oh, good grief. Today at the supermarket, the cashier drank a yogurt drink from a cup while working. I mean, personally, it would never be the kind of thing that I would tell a person not to do that. It would annoy me a bit because yogurt drinks are smelly AF. I hate the smell of dairy drinks. Ugh. But I can live with it. It's temporary. It's just for the time that you're at the register paying for your stuff, and then you're gone and you don't have to smell it, you know? Who cares? It's okay. It's a small inconvenience. It's fine. I would tell everyone to get themselves a metal or pig bottle ASAP, and that way, gee, the liquid is water. I mean, I don't go as close to the cashier and they drink to smell it. I mean, how... It's not any worse than having, like, let's say you happen upon a cashier that has bad breath. Like, it's just... That's life. These last few weeks I was obsessed with beet juice and sauerkraut. Wow. It smells way worse than yogurt. I mean, if you enjoy it, that's fine. Going from a mill job to blows saved my feet. Going from concrete to a bouncy old wood floor solved so many issues. Now I'm back to hard floors, but constantly moving, so it's easier. And if you're moving, you can also get like shoes that work fine with hard floors and moving, you know. Not that I know of. Here, even if it's a bit disappointing, I'm gonna put some of the neon pink for Otto. I feel like the fact that it's a bit more muted is gonna work really fine for those distant little flower thingies. There you go. I think that works. I got pickled tomatoes yesterday and oh, good grief. Personally think any drink at work should be resealable one, just so spills. Yeah, but definitely hated the water only, no juice soft drink. Also benefits mean orthotics. Oh yeah. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, you address it on a this is an issue case to case basis. Like, fine, you can drink whatever you want. We just ask that it's resealable, like a closed off bottle or something, so that spills don't happen. Also, it protects you from someone possibly dropping things in your drink, you know. Not necessarily something bad, but they could drop their money in the drink, they could drop like anything. So fine, okay. What's in it? Well, I mean, no booze. That goes without saying. Like, come on, common sense. But aside from that, unless it's an issue in that particular case, why? Mean words. No drinks at all. How are they allowed to do that? That is reasonable to have bottles that can be closed. Should be okay. Yeah, it's just, you know, it's kind of like very common sense-y. I feel like I don't think it's overreaching or anything. It's just more practical. I mean, I use that even if I'm at home because I don't want to spill water on like computer or equipment or painting or paper or, you know, any number of things. So it's not like it's asking for something that people wouldn't necessarily have already. But no drinks, no breaks, no chair. I keep mine in a tumbler where I don't have to directly touch the straw or spigot. Yeah, exactly. I'm a custodian after all, who knows? Absolutely. I support this decision. If it's a super safe area with no drinks, food, for whatever reason. Yeah, that's the thing. Like if it's a like a lab, or a place where you handle really delicate equipment, or materials or chemicals or anything that could interact with other fluids, whatever, like fine, 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 no problem with that. But like you say, you need breaks to eat anyway, and to take, walk around, remove the hazmat suit. Aren't Hobby Lobby like excessively religious? That's the thing that I could never wrap my mind around, because um, there's a lot of notions of empathy sprinkled throughout religious stuff, and they always seem to miss those, or like miss the point. It's like, dude, it's in there with everything else. How did you miss this one? I have no idea. I have no idea how any company is allowed to say humans are not allowed giving liquids, like survival relevant liquids. Oh, good grief, Ellen. Oh, that dude, I think, needed help in some way. Or even a dusty kind of environment. I don't want shit. Yeah, I mean, fair. I also think it's kind of not fair that office workers can do basically anything, but it depends on the office. They can't all do anything. There's a lot of office spaces that have limitations as well. Problem with many people is that they like to demand from others, but not, yeah, they want the thing, but they don't want to give the thing. Absolutely. Yeah, like they're a Christian company, so weird rules and stuff, and of course anti-queer. Ugh. They avoid them. But yeah, yeah, seriously, like we'll do our best, but they certainly are not. And it's just so baffling. Like this dude you worship was trying to help people in need, and there you sit, trying to make other people miserable. Good job. Totally didn't miss the point. He was not a good person, actually. They didn't to him. What? That's him? Wait, what? Teacher of what did you say? A film teacher. Ugh. What an asshole. Oops, that's not the color I thought it was. Pico! Otto, Pico is here! Can I grab her? Tu me vois? Viens, tu me vois, mon poupou! Nif nif, nif nif nif, nif nif, nif. Otto, are you still there? Otto! Otto, your favorite is here! Hello, baby! Hold on. Hi! Miss Pick Pick. Stepping on everything. Salut! Oh, il faut tout sentir. You gotta smell everything. You gotta walk all over. Come here. Come here. I can't see chat right now, so I hope Otto has heard me summoning her. Tu vas, Pick Pick? Oh, that's not a good idea. Where are you going? You're going on the printer. Okay then. Otto! Yay! You heard me! Lip 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 lip. Well, that's a good way to end the stream, right? End it on the cat. She's not making any sounds. She's pretty quiet right now. Yeah, the white patch on her muzzle, we call that her monocle, like the, you know, like the Monopoly dude. No, it doesn't have a monocle actually. That's, you're blurry. Can I twist around? Hold on. Okay. Sorry, I've changed it to autofocus, so we might get the kitty a bit more, and I can perhaps light her up a little bit. Hello, baby. She is pondering with all the might of her single brain cell what kind of mayhem she can get up to. And she's like, oh, can I go explore over there? No, Pickle, Pickle, Pickle. Come on, Pipette. Hey, hey, Miss Trouble. Viens ici. Oui, salut. T'es loin un peu. En pas. She's a bit far from me. It's not, it's mostly the camera making it that dark. But yeah, it's a basement room, so it is dark. And come make mayhem with me. You say that now, but Pico. Oh, oh, thing down. Dunk. And she's out. And that was the kitty cat. There we go. Well, that's a good way to end the stream. All the kitty figurines in the background. You have no idea. The area behind Pico is looking really good. I mean, it is what it is, right? Could be better, but could be much worse, so... Yeah, that's the main, like, basement. The perks of a basement is it stays cold. Well, it stays cool. And we have a lot of tiles, so that also helps keeping it cool. But you don't get very good lighting. So that's where you lose a bit of it, but you know, it's okay. So I will be finishing this up. I will be making a brief little review of these two. But yeah, if I may say, these are really nice acrylic markers. I really like them. As you can see, they layer like decently well. The opacity is, you know, very fine. You might need a couple of layers to get there, but a lot of fun to work with. There's a lot of colors. Check this out. And I feel like there's none of the colors in there that is too weird to be used, you know. Hi, Caramel. Hello, little lady. Cat brain working. Yeah, it's working extra really hard. And yeah, thank you so much, guys, for the stream. That was a bit different, but... Oh, I will try to remember to post it on Instagram, and I mean, I will send it to you if you want it after. After all, it's your boy. But yeah, I need to finish it first and then film a little review. And then... I mean, I don't know, take a photo, scan it, and I can send it to you. I even have stamps for it. They're holding hands while drinking water? Aww. Aw, that's adorable. That's so cute. Right, so I hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend. And, hold on, am I... I'm mostly live, okay, fine. And, yeah, so more work and... hopefully it's not going to be too hot this week, but there's a lot of stuff and the weather never really helps. So anyway, thank you so much for being here. This was a lot of fun to do while chatting with you guys, and I guess we will see each other either on the Discord server, on Instagram, or in the next stream. So until then, have a great weekend, and don't forget to take cake. Hey, cake. Ice cream cake this time. And take ice cream cake, exactly. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much. Bye. I will try to gather up some forget-me-not chaff and consent. Yeah, that's a fair exchange. I'm good with that. Works for me. Bye, guys.